Hi, I'm Charles.
Personality or chapter?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see
Hi,
you. It's a pleasure
James.
to meet you. Well, I'm sorry you came so late, and we had no way of knowing you're coming, because
Sure.
I'm about to leave in a few minutes myself, and
Are ya?
so is Amy. So, but I'll give you a little time to tell you some things
Would you?
about J.D. Salinger.
That-
Catcher in the Rye, the reason it took so long for me to read is that he captured the spirit of this school. Pensy Prep was Valley Forge Military Academy. He talked about the dormitory that had showers in between. Well, that was Wheeler Hall. And there was a shower between each two rooms, and made it very convenient because you take your shower and take care of yourself very easily at any time. And he talked about a young man who fell from the roof and was killed. That actually happened, but the boy didn't die. And then the characters that he wrote about. There was a Robert Ackley, but the Ackley that was here was just a tremendous man, great athlete, and basketball player, went on to Naval Academy, had a full career as a naval officer. But the one that I had the most fun with was, I think it was Stradlater. Stradlater was a combination of about 3 cadets. The miracle was he was able to blend the personalities of 3 people into one person. Of course, General Baker, who was our superintendent at the time, was not very happy with him. First of all, he wrote all those F words, and secondly, he made fun of the president of the school, who shined up to the wealthy parents, and of course that was a direct reflection on General Baker. And for years, the book itself, if you wanted a copy of it, you went quietly to the librarian and said, "May I have Catcher in the Rye?" And she'd go to the back room and give it to her. Now we teach it in all our classes. What you have here is the Book of Remembrance. We lost 123 people in uniform. In fact, the last one we just entered, and we felt that he had done his service for his country, was one of our firemen from New York, who was in that collapse of the building. But he's become such a recluse. It's just
Why do you
a
think
shame.
that is?
I don't know. Maybe that part of the Holden Caulfield that is in him. He is so much like Holden Caulfield himself. In fact, one of the things that I had written one time, or somebody wrote indicating, I said he was Holden Caulfield. He wasn't that much of a person for discipline, but he didn't get in trouble. You know, he's careful enough not to skirt the edges, but he never did anything wrong that I know of. I mean, he was just another guy in the Corps of Cadets. This is the football field. So this is where the field was, and the baseball field was over here, where the chapel is. So when he talks about a cannon, I don't know whether it was this cannon or whatever it was, but that's where the field was. This was Wheeler Hall, where J.D. Salinger lived. No, I'm sorry, that he talked about. The room that used to have the showers, which are blocked up now, or are located right over there.
Hey, everyone, don't come out of the hallways yet. Don't come out. Stand.
Is this where you stay too?
Yes, sir. I'm up on the upper level. Did you ever see the movie Taps?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know the room where Tom Cruise, they shot it up?
Yeah.
That's the room I'm staying in.
Really?
Yeah.
Could we shoot that room?
Sure.
We gotta shoot. You gotta show us your room.
All right. That's the window. They shot it all up.
From the movie Taps.
Yeah. Supposedly they rebuilt that whole area down there. Built up the gate.
There's a gate down there?
There was. For the movie, they built like a whole gate, like over there, so they could just like set up a shot.
Cool. So let's just, how long have you been here, and how did you end up coming to this academy, stuff like that?
Well, I was sort of I'm not going to say I was the greatest child, but I was sort of mischievous, and if I hadn't came here, my discipline level would have been too low for me to go anywhere in life. So my parents noticed that around 8th grade, sent me here in 9th grade. You wake up, you clean your room, ready for inspection, go to class, you learn, you march around, you do physical activities, you're always busy. I mean, there's never a dull moment. Now, I don't want to say like I don't like the school, because I can't think of times where I'm not laughing, because everyone here is like, all the guys here, it's like one big family. So, I don't know, everybody's nuts. But I don't know, you're just always busy, and you're always having a good time, even though it stinks at the same time. Because you're in like a prison.
After being expelled from Pensy Prep, Holden walks alone to a train station to catch a ride into New York City, where his family lives. His parents don't know that he's coming. For the time being, he has no plans to tell them. He knows they'll be upset with him when they find out. After all, this is his fourth school he's been kicked out of, so he's in no real hurry to actually get home, although he would like to see his sister, Phoebe, again. In the meantime, Holden searches for some sort of profound truth in the mundane lives of the strangers he observes along the way.
Currently, we're on 95 North, heading through downtown Philadelphia on our way to New York City.
Can I point out again how weird the experience was at Pensy Prep at the military college?
Yes, you can.
It's
We got lucky.
yeah, we got really lucky. First of all, I thought we'd get kicked out of there, but we ended up coming out of there with an interview with a guy that actually went to school with J.D. Salinger. Calls him Jerry,
A brigadier general.
Brigadier General. And
Jerome. We refer to JD as Jerome / Jerry. His mom called him Jerome, I guess, and the guys at school at Pensy called him, or at the military academy, called him Jerry. The other amazing thing was telling the story about when Salinger came home and was drunk.
Yeah.
And getting socked in the face because he wanted to go back out and get more drunk.
It's almost verbatim from
It is.
the story.
In which he's upset about Jane Gallagher and Stradlater hanging out and them getting in the fight and kind of getting socked. So maybe he drew a little bit from that experience. I'm sure he did. Hey, we're going 48 miles an hour. Not too fast. So now we're heading into New York City.
We'll head to the hotel, I think,
Straight
to the New
hotel.
Yorker, and get our room. I reserved a room for one.
It's the carrying in of the video gear that's usually pretty interesting.
Right. Yeah, 3 guys carrying in a carload of video equipment really looks suspicious. And more importantly, I believe we'll be able to actually drink this evening, as they have bars in New York that don't close at 1 in the morning. How often have you been to New York? How many times have you been to New York?
Years ago, my friend called me and said he had tickets to Letterman, so I flew into Baltimore where he lived, and we drove into New York City and went on the Letterman show, and the camera was facing right at my friend. Sure enough, they're showing my friend, and I squeaked over into the picture, and it's the two of us yelling, and I actually have a tape which we could insert right now.
I think the audience is still dumbfounded. Is there anything you can do for us? Whoa!
I do have footage of the Today Show. We stood out in front of the Today Show, and we wanted to make, they should keep showing the crowd, when Katie Couric and Matt Lauer are at the desk. And we wanted to do something that would catch their attention. So they're coming back from commercial, and it pans the crowd. And at that moment, I grab Mike, and he grabs me, and we start making out.
We're back at 7:30 on a Thursday morning, March 29, 2001. You're looking at the folks who dropped by outside our window this morning on a pretty day here in the Northeast. Got a big crowd out. Rolling spring break continues.
Rolling big, baby.
There's a lot of... Okay. Bringing people together here on
That's what we try to do.
Street, New York.
Start spreading the news.
We don't have rights to that, Charles. You can't sing
I'm
that.
leaving today.
If you guys want to make some comments, just wait till we get to the city.
Man, I'm a part of it in old New York.
You know what?
If James can make it there, he can make it
Anywhere?
anywhere. It's up to James. New York, New York. Dun 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 dun. Key change. Dun dun dun.